often exhaust ourselves chasing a version of happiness that feels just out of reach, hidden behind expensive memberships or complicated self-help routines. For a long time, I thought that living better required doing more. But lately, I've realized that true peace often waits in the things we stop doing instead. I found myself drawn to the Dutch way of life, a culture that stays remarkably happy by keeping things beautifully simple and practical. They don't look for grand gestures or costly upgrades. Instead, they embrace a down-to-earth approach that values comfort and connection over status. In this video, I want to share the gentle Dutch habits that reminded me that a rich life doesn't have to be a costly or complicated one. And let's explore this simpler path together. Right now, we're starting with simple home cooking. Cooking simply at home has become one of the most grounding habits in my life. I no longer try to make meals impressive or complicated. Instead, I focus on making them nourishing, realistic, and to my energy. This shift alone removed so much pressure around food and helped me stay consistent. Over time, I learned that a balanced meal does not need many dishes or fancy recipes. What truly matters is covering the basics: vegetables for vitamins and minerals, slow carbohydrates for steady energy, protein to keep the body strong and satisfied, and fiber to support digestion. When these elements are present, the body naturally feels more stable and cared for. A bowl of stewed vegetables, a simple salad with grains, or a plate of rice or potatoes paired with vegetables and protein can be deeply satisfying without being heavy or overwhelming. Simple cooking also changed my relationship with convenience food. When meals are easy to prepare, there is less temptation to rely on fast food or heavily processed options. I find that simplicity brings awareness. I become more mindful of how much salt, sugar, or fat I use, and I naturally serve portions that feel right rather than excessive. In many ways, cooking this way feels like a quiet act of self-respect, choosing nourishment over perfection and consistency over extremes. Tomorrow, I'll be sharing a new video about simple, intentional living choices that help me save a significant amount of money over time. Don't miss it. The ideas are practical, eye-opening, and something many of us truly need. Once food became simpler, the way I sat down to eat naturally began to change as well. Now let's talk about the screen-free dinner. It may sound simple, even old-fashioned, but it gently reshapes the way we relate to food, to time, and to one another. When dinner happens at a relatively fixed hour and not too late in the evening, the body can relax into a rhythm. There is less rushing, less mindless snacking, and more awareness of hunger and fullness. Sitting down at the table without the television playing in the background or phones within reach creates a natural pause in the day. Attention shifts from screens to the meal itself, allowing us to truly notice flavors, textures, and the feeling of being nourished. Eating slowly and chewing thoroughly supports digestion, but it also changes our internal dialogue. When we are not distracted, we become better at recognizing when we are comfortably full rather than eating past that point. Meals stop being something we get through and start becoming moments we experience. Over time, this reduces overeating and brings a calmer relationship with food. More importantly, the dinner table becomes a space for connection. Conversations flow more easily when no one is half listening while scrolling. Sharing small stories from the day, listening without interruption, and simply being present creates emotional closeness that often goes missing in busy routines. For children especially, this habit sends a quiet but powerful message. Meals are not just about food, but about care, belonging, and togetherness. These moments shape how they view both eating and family for years to come. As I slowed down at the table, I also started paying closer attention to how much my body truly needed. Now we're exploring eating just enough, a mindful way of approaching food that respects the body's signals and restores ease after meals. Eating a portion that feels just enough allows the body to stay comfortable after meals. There is no heaviness, no sluggishness, and no sense of regret afterward. Over time, this gentle awareness helps build trust with hunger and fullness cues. Instead of eating until the plate is empty by default, the focus shifts to eating until the body feels satisfied. When cooking larger meals, dividing food into clear portions makes a real difference. It removes the temptation to keep going simply because more food is available. Knowing that another portion is already set aside for later brings a sense of calm and abundance rather than urgency. Leftover food can then be stored properly or frozen, turning it into an easy future meal instead of something forgotten at the back of the fridge. The same approach applies to snacks. Placing chips, nuts, or sweets into a small bowl rather than eating straight from the package creates a natural pause. That pause invites intention. It becomes easier to notice when enjoyment has peaked and when it is time to stop. Gradually, this habit builds a clearer awareness of how much is being consumed, not in a controlling way, but in a caring one. Managing portions this way feels less like discipline and more like self-respect. Choosing balance, reducing waste, and treating both the body and food with greater appreciation. Care for the body doesn't stop with food, it quietly continues through how we move each day. Here we're looking at small movements lasting health. For me, one of the most sustainable shifts has been learning to see movement as something woven into daily life, not something separate or demanding. Natural everyday movement begins with letting go of the idea that exercise must be exhausting to be effective. Walking to nearby places, choosing stairs over elevators, tidying the house, or doing light chores all count as meaningful physical activity. These movements may look small, but when repeated day after day, they quietly add up. They keep the body engaged without draining energy or requiring special equipment schedules or motivation. What makes this approach so powerful is its consistency. Regular movement supports heart health by improving circulation and maintaining a steady level of activity throughout the day. Joints stay more flexible, muscles remain active, and stiffness is less likely to build up. Even gentle movement helps preserve strength and balance over time, especially when it becomes a natural part of routine rather than a task to complete. This way of moving also changes the emotional relationship with the body. Instead of pushing through fatigue or chasing performance goals, movement becomes an act of care. A short walk after meals can feel grounding. Carrying groceries or cleaning the living space becomes a way to stay present and connected to the body. There is no pressure to do more or be better, only an invitation to keep showing up in small ways. Ultimately, health thrives on regularity, not intensity. A body that moves a little often tends to feel more supported than one that is pushed hard and then neglected. As physical habits softened, my relationship with work slowly began to shift too. This part is about choosing balance over hustle. I slowly realized that constant busyness does not equal value and exhaustion is not a badge of honor. Rest instead is a legitimate and necessary part of a balanced life. For a long time, I believed that working longer hours meant being more committed and productive. In reality, it often led to burnout, poor focus, and a growing sense of resentment toward work. When rest is treated as optional, the body and mind eventually push back. Allowing time to pause, sleep well, and mentally disconnect is not indulgent. It is essential for clarity and emotional stability. Productivity becomes more meaningful when it is measured by quality rather than duration. Focused work completed within reasonable hours tends to be more thoughtful and effective than tasks stretched across an exhausted day. By setting clearer priorities and letting go of the pressure to always be on work starts to feel more intentional. There is less rushing, fewer mistakes, and more satisfaction in what gets done. Creating clear boundaries between work and personal time has been equally important. When the workday ends, closing the laptop and stepping away creates space to reconnect with oneself and with others. Personal time is no longer interrupted by constant notifications or unfinished tasks. This separation allows true rest rather than the illusion of it. Rest and enjoyment, whether through quiet evenings, hobbies, or simple pleasures, play a powerful role in sustaining long-term energy. A well-rested mind returns to work with creativity and resilience. By choosing balance over constant hustle, life feels steadier, healthier, and far more sustainable. Balance isn't only something we build alone, it's also shaped by the people we stay close to. Let's talk about strength of staying connected. Social connections offer a sense of belonging that cannot be replaced by productivity or personal achievements. Knowing that there are people who listen, understand, and share everyday moments creates emotional stability. Even simple conversations can remind us that we are not navigating life alone. This feeling of connection often brings comfort during stressful or uncertain times. Making time for family and friends, even in small ways, has a noticeable impact on mental health. Shared meals, short walks, or unplanned chats allow the mind to rest from constant inner dialogue. Laughter and familiar company soften anxiety and help release emotional tension. These moments do not need to be elaborate. Consistency matters far more than effort. Open communication within relationships also supports healthier habits. Trusted people often notice changes in mood, energy, or behavior before we do. Gentle conversations can highlight patterns that may be draining or unbalanced, encouraging reflection rather than judgment. Honest feedback, when offered with care, becomes a form of mutual support rather than criticism. Social connection plays a crucial role in emotional resilience. Feeling seen and valued strengthens self-worth and reduces feelings of isolation. Over time, these bonds create a stable emotional foundation, making it easier to manage stress and maintain a balanced mindset. Nurturing relationships is not a distraction from self-care. It is one of its most powerful forms. At this stage, we focus on the role work plays in our inner world. Now we're exploring managing work stress. For a long time, I allowed professional pressure to quietly shape my self-worth. Deadlines, performance, and expectations felt personal. Over time, I learned to separate what I do from who I am. When work remains in its proper place, mistakes feel less threatening and success becomes something to appreciate rather than cling to. When stress lingers open, conversation becomes essential. Speaking honestly with managers or colleagues about workload priorities or capacity can lead to healthier adjustments. This does not signal weakness, it reflects self-awareness and responsibility. Small changes, clearer deadlines, realistic expectations, or better task distribution can significantly reduce ongoing strain. I also stopped viewing constant busyness as a sign of achievement. Being overwhelmed often leads to mental fatigue, reduced focus, and emotional exhaustion. Productivity is not measured by how full the calendar looks, but by the quality and sustainability of the work produced. Allowing space to pause creates room for better decisions and creativity. A balanced relationship between work and personal life supports long-term well-being. Time away from work restores energy, perspective, and emotional stability. When personal needs are respected, work becomes more manageable and meaningful. Managing stress this way is not about doing less, it is about living better with intention and self-respect. Sometimes well-being starts not with effort, but with the space we live in every day. This section is about fresh air at home. It requires no special tools or routines, just a conscious decision to let the space breathe. Opening windows regularly allows indoor air to circulate and prevents rooms from feeling heavy or stale. Even a few minutes in the morning or evening can make a noticeable difference. Fresh air brings a sense of lightness, making the home feel more open and alive. Over time, this simple habit reduces humidity, helping to limit mold growth and maintain a more comfortable environment. Cleaner circulating air also has a direct effect on physical comfort. When air quality improves, headaches become less frequent. Breathing feels easier and concentration naturally increases. Sleep quality often improves as well. A well-ventilated bedroom supports deeper rest, allowing the body to relax and recover more fully overnight. Waking up in a fresh space feels calmer and more energizing. This habit is especially valuable for those who spend long hours indoors or working at a desk. Indoor environments can quietly accumulate stale air dust and moisture, which slowly impact energy levels and mood. Allowing regular airflow creates a healthier balance even in small apartments or shared spaces. What makes this practice meaningful is its long-term impact. Fresh air supports both physical and mental health without effort or cost. It encourages mindfulness toward the living environment and reinforces the idea that well-being is shaped by small, consistent choices. Finally, we come to a habit that reconnects us with the wider world. We end with simply stepping outside. Spending time outdoors, especially in wide and airy places like parks, riversides, coastal paths, or tree-filled streets, creates a natural distance from work and academic pressure. The change of scenery alone helps loosen the mental tightness that builds up indoors. Being surrounded by open skies and natural elements brings a quiet sense of perspective, reminding us that life extends beyond screens and schedules. This habit does not require intense movement or a structured routine. A slow walk, steady breathing, and mindful observation are enough. Noticing the sound of leaves, the rhythm of footsteps, or the movement of water helps bring attention back to the present moment. These small sensory details gently calm the nervous system and create space for emotional release. Natural air and wind play an important role in this process. Fresh breezes reduce the feeling of confinement and help lift heavy moods. The body responds instinctively. Breathing deepens, shoulders relax, and tension softens. Even short periods outside can ease accumulated stress and restore a sense of inner balance. What makes this habit especially valuable is its simplicity and accessibility. It costs nothing and fits easily into daily life, while still offering light physical movement that supports circulation and respiratory health. Over time, regularly stepping into open spaces strengthens emotional resilience. It becomes easier to manage stress, regulate emotions, and return to daily responsibilities with greater calm and clarity. At the heart of everything we share today is a simple truth. A calmer, healthier life is built through small, gentle choices made consistently. From how we cook and eat to how we move, rest, breathe, and connect, these habits remind us that self-care does not need to be complicated to be meaningful. If you are in a season of wanting to slow down, feel better, and live with less pressure, know that you are not alone. I'm walking this path with you one small adjustment at a time, and real change truly begins right where you are. I also have a dedicated video about mindful, intentional living choices that helped me save a substantial amount of money over time, and I truly recommend watching it right after this one. You shouldn't miss it because it contains practical insights that can make daily life much easier. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe, because you deserve a life that feels lighter, calmer, and more fulfilling. And don't hesitate to share these ideas with friends and family. Everyone can benefit from gentler, more thoughtful ways of living.